I'm sure we've all noticed this in our school. A student sitting alone at lunch, staring across the room like an astronaut lost in space. All around are other kids happily chatting, laughing, and maybe even sharing food, and their own circles of friendship. Sadly, not everyone has friends, and not everyone belongs in circles of friendship. Some of us are quietly facing loneliness and challenges that make us feel different. Today, I want to talk about something that's really close to my heart: friendships and making friends. But not just any friends. Friends who don't look like us, talk like us, or maybe even have a disability. No, I know what you might be thinking. I already have friends. Why should I make more friends? It's easier to stick with my friends right now. It's easier, but not better. Because what if that lonely person was you, sitting alone at recess, struggling to connect with others because of who you are and what you can or cannot do? It's definitely not a great feeling. But guess what? We have the incredible power to change that. You have the incredible power to change that because each of us can create a world where everyone is accepted, loved, and included. So today we're embarking on a mission to reach out and touch more lives. We'll explore the wonders of inclusion, empathy, and education to spread kindness and make friends in a world that sometimes feels a little too lonely. Let me tell you about my friend, Ben. Ben is a little different from most kids in our class. Sometimes he is so full of energy that he runs around in class, and it makes it hard for all of us to concentrate. Everybody seemed afraid of him and stayed away from him. But I thought I should give him a chance, and I'm so glad I did. As I got to know Ben better, I realized something awesome about him. He was an incredible writer. He could put words together in the most amazing way, and his poems always sounded so beautiful. Ben would write letters just for me, and it made me feel so special. But here's the thing. Nobody else seemed to appreciate Ben's do's. No one would invite him to their birthdays or include him in a group of friends. It made both me and Ben really sad. I knew he was such a kind person, and it hurt to see him left out. When it was his birthday, he invited me over to his home. We played some games, had some sushi. Ben was so happy. He felt included and valued, and I felt like I had made a change in his life. Being friends has been taught me to be inclusive, which means including everyone and not leaving anyone else out. It means looking beyond the differences and seeing the awesomeness in each person. Ben's ADHD didn't define it. It was just a small part of who he was. By being his friend, I showed him that he mattered and that he was seen and valued for who he truly was. So no matter how different people like Ben may seem, let's be inclusive. Let's open our hearts and reach out with a friendly heart. Let's be open-minded and give everyone a chance to shine. And next, I want to talk about my best friend, Michaela. Now, Michaela is like super tall. I mean seriously tall. When I first met her, I actually thought he was the teacher's helper, but when she sat down, I realized that she was one of us. Just like with Ben, my classmates didn't want to talk to Michaela. They thought she was different because she was big and tall, and I made them afraid to talk to her. But I didn't, and I'm so glad I did. Because Michaela is one of the nicest people I know, I also found out that she became super tall just because her parents were tall. It's as simple as that. It doesn't make her any less awesome or any less deserving our friendship. In fact, her height is what makes her unique and special. Here's the cool part. Michaela is fantastic at spelling. She's like a spelling superhero. Whenever I need help practicing my spelling, she's right there ready, and she's also always so kind and generous, especially with Jess. Being tall, short, or anything in between, does it define who we are? It's the kindest generosity and unique talents we have that really matter. Being friends with Michaela taught me a lot about empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes and understanding how they feel. So let's celebrate our differences. Let's spread empathy like confetti. And let's create a safe place where everyone is welcomed as who they really are. Finally, I want to share about my friend, boy. Troy is what some of us call a special needs student, which means he learns and he's special teacher's helper. It's not easy for Roy to communicate, so he often feels left out. But there's so much more to Roy than meets the eyes. One thing I discovered about him is this incredible sense of humor. One time during a game of toss the ball, he did something that made us all burst until after he put the ball on his head. I started wobbling around like a silly robot, trying to entertain us. We couldn't help but laugh together. In that moment, I felt that Roy has an amazing personality, full of fun and desire to connect with others. Sadly, many people find it hard to talk to. They may feel uncomfortable or unsure of how to talk to him. That's where education and support comes in. But educate ourselves about those special needs. We can learn about different ways to communicate with them and have a greater understanding about them. But more than education, we should support them. We should stand up for their rights, their dignity, and their happiness. Because everyone deserves equal opportunities. So no matter how different people like Roy may seem, Let's educate ourselves about those special needs. Let's stand up for them. And let's be their allies and champions. I am so glad to have Ben, Michaela, and Roy as my friends and be a part of my life. We learned so much about each other. We understand the challenges we all go through, and we all became a better person because of it. Inclusion, empathy, education, and support. These are important things that can build bridges of friendship and change lives for the better. So let's be inclusive and have more friends like that. Let's practice empathy and understand what kids like Michaela. And let's learn more and support those like Roy, who are trying so hard to keep up with the rest of us each day. But more importantly, let's take a lead and be role models for other kids. Because this can be our superpower.